At that moment, the Holy Spirit fell on me. And I just knew, it was just God telling me, like, I will not stop seeking you. So I had always heard, when you become a believer, you hear that God seeks you, that we were chosen before we were born. And I know that to be true with me. I was born and raised Catholic, and very strict Catholic in a Mexican household. But when I was 5, I was led to the Lord. I had a babysitter that just, she was a teenager. She would dump me into the church for a few hours in the summer while she was babysitting me. And they had this vacation Bible school, and so that's where I first heard about Jesus and learned all about Jesus and who he was. And so that's when I was first led to the Lord, and I was saved, and I accepted Jesus in my life when I was 5. However, since I was 5, I couldn't exactly go find my own church. I had to continue to go to Catholic church and to Mass with my family. And as I grew up, it just never really stuck with me. I mean, I definitely held a reverence for God, and I think that's one of the things about the Anglican churches. They really do teach you the fear of the Lord, which is actually can be a beautiful thing, and it's not necessarily a terrifying thing. But I learned to have reverence for God. And as I grew older, then eventually I kind of just fell away. You become a teenager, and in my case, I'm very rebellious and went my own way. And I went back to church again in my early 20s when my sister had just become recently saved, and she was the first in my family. And then she took my mother to her church. It was a vineyard, and then by then all the family was becoming starting to accept the Lord into their life. And so then I went and I said, "Oh yeah, I know all about this. Yeah, I'm happy, to do it again and to finally for my family to come around." So I accepted the Lord again, but then I fell away again because I went back to where I was living at the time, and I'm like living this heavy rock and roll lifestyle, and I play bass, I'm playing in bands, and I'm touring, and I'm doing that whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing. That's fun and all that. And so one day I was in New York already, and I was feeling like I really needed God in my life again, but I wasn't sure how to approach it and how to do that. I didn't really have any Christian friends, and there was nobody really around talking to me about God. And so I was flying home, flying back to New York, where I'd been living for a few years, and I'd happened to have a Village Voice that I grabbed back in the day when we had print newspapers, and I had one in my backpack, and I pulled it out to read it just to see what was happening in New York on my way back. And one of my hangouts was this place called the Trash Bar, and it's exactly what you would think. It wasn't exactly an upstanding fine establishment. It was a dingy rock and roll dive in Williamsburg before Williamsburg was gentrified. There was not very many bars at the time, and so this was just this hole in the wall, pretty dank place. And I was looking at the calendar to see what bands were playing, and I saw on Sunday, and it was kind of one of my home away from home, on Sunday it said in the evening Vineyard Church service. And I nearly fell out of my seat because I was like, that can't be right. My eyes are playing tricks on me. How and when would the Vineyard, which is the church that I've been trying to find in New York all along, why and how would it be there, And so I just couldn't wait, and it was the first Sunday of the month, and I just could not wait for that first Sunday. And I was just like counting the minutes, I had a mental calendar of marking off X's. So Sunday came, and I just couldn't believe it. I was just in anticipation and excitement, and mind you, I hadn't stepped foot inside of church or picked up my Bible, about a decade at this point. And I even called the owner of the bar, who was a friend, and asked, "Is this for real?" And they said, "Yeah, these people came in, they were really nice, and really there's nothing going on Sunday night." And so, we figured, why not let them use the space? And I walked back there, and sure enough, it was worship music was playing. They had the worship team, and it was a full-on, Vineyard service. And so at that moment, the Holy Spirit fell on me. And I just knew, it was just God telling me, like, I will not stop seeking you. God isn't, he's looking for people that are already well, but he's looking for those that are sick. And so I feel very much the calling being with tax collectors, which is, that total rock and roll lifestyle, or the LGBT community, or the misfits, or the people that are considered thrown away. And I feel that I've been thrown away a lot in the last years in my job and my church community, and it's just all there. It's just all so clear to me. While there's a lot of pain, it's just also clear, God telling me, like, well, this is the path that I have set for you, and be strong and courageous.
Okay, so throughout your journey, what have you learned about Christ?
He never gives up on us, no matter what we think we've done, or no matter what we think we're doing. He's always there, and he's just there to pick us up and to comfort us and to hold us when we need him and to wipe the tears from our face. He's there when he just delights in us, when we're just loving someone or worshiping. He's there for us, no matter at our highest points and our lowest points, and that he's just accessible. He's not this mystery figure. He's not a 16th century oil painting. He's a very real and tangible person, and he is always with us. And all we have to do is just ask. All we have to do is turn and face to him, and just face him and seek him, and he's there, and he never leaves us.